All right. What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? Good. Everyone all right? Good. Thanks for coming out. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I like the Midwest a lot. Mid-Best, I say, or Mid-Beast. I'm from Chicago, and so I get up here once a summer. I'm on my way to Ann Arbor, and I've been to Kalamazoo a few times, and so really excited to be with y'all this afternoon. My hope is this. I'm going to read a bunch of poems, but then I want to see where y'all are at, so I was hoping maybe we could do a writing workshop together. Would that be cool with y'all? Does anyone write in here right now? Anybody a poet or write songs, keep a journal? What kind of stuff you do, my man?
I'm writing this story right now.
Okay, all right. And what's your name?
Steven.
Steven, good to see you, bro. Okay, anyone else a writer or anyone else do their thing? Yeah, a little bit, okay. All right, we'll see. I don't see your hand up, Tammy, so.
No.
Tammy's also a liar, maybe. Low-key, she's a low-key writer. Good, so I'm gonna try to read a poem from every book. I don't normally get an opportunity to do that, but a lot of the poems that I'm gonna read are kind of about family, and I think a lot about my family. I write about my family a lot, my city a lot, so I'll read some of those poems too. But you know, I got involved with writing and wanting to write poems because of listening to hip-hop music. And I always wanted to rap, but I didn't know anyone who rapped or who liked hip-hop. It was a time before hip-hop was popular culture. You had to go find it. And so I started to write rhymes. And I realized quickly that I should not be a rapper, but I still like to do it. So I'm gonna start with a rhyme that I did when my first book came out, and it's you know, I have fun rhyming. I'm not saying that I should be a rapper. These styles that you will hear will do for you what they did for me. I mean, hopefully. Give you a sense of self no longer so lonely. Knowing I'm not the only kid with pen and pad. I'm scribbling lines that rhyme about how I miss my dad. It's like them thoughts you had. Now we're in your hand. They're looking back at the brain they came, rained upon your lap. My styles are bright and bright at night. I couldn't sleep or nap. I'd read lines, combine them mind to the library in the black section, checking facts, answering questions my Eurocentric teachers didn't ask. I'd cut class to hop the Metro. I'd hop the CTA. I'd hop to the record shop and gramophone and check out the latest tapes. I led at the B-boy party, sometimes in section 8s. My style's great. If you can spit, you're not a fake. I walked thin red lines in my notebook, practicing my nightly fate. Ruddy became my date. To pick her up, I'm never late. In mental spaces, I bomb kids, and now I speak Hebonics. I mean, what you thought you heard. I'm a Jewish kid who kicks raps, and yeah, I'm from the suburbs. I kibitz when I kick it, eating kosher, so no rib tips. My flow was 1,000 fists in the back of classes, and even if your blind teacher forgot your glasses, you couldn't miss it. From the universal to the specific, my flow manifests spirit, so keep your ears open. Peep these styles when you hear it. That's that piece, all right? There you go. So this is my first book of poems called Slingshots, Hip Hop Poetica. You can get all these books on the back table from the Book Bug, right? Shout out. All right, that's what's up. All right, that's what's up. This book came out in 2005, and so that's almost 10 years ago. And that means I'm grown and older than I was, but better than I was. You know what I mean? And it also means that these poems, really, some of them started, I remember starting some of these poems that are in this book in '99. And I heard this morning, I was coming up, I was driving, and I heard this morning, what podcast was it? Oh yeah, I was listening to this podcast with all these comedians, and they said, you really become a writer when you learn to rewrite. You know, I thought that was really powerful, because, you know, you write, but then you got to go back and edit. You know, you have to go back and make those poems or those stories better. And so a lot of these poems got wrote and rewrote, and I'm going to share one of the poems in here that I still like a lot. This is a true story, unfortunately, but it's called What Moms Had to Do for a Michael Jordan Autographed Shoe. She didn't want to, but we were like cheerleaders, whining until victory. How could she not at least try? One date with the Chicago Bulls assistant coach. He picked her up in the summertime off-season. Mom made him wait with Eric and I in the backyard on faux chaise lounges we stole from the alley of Ace Hardware. She powdered herself pretty upstairs, anesthetizing for the evening. He looked old, much older than he did on TV, more like a grandfather, skin beginning to leather and spot, purple veins like rivers in his huge hands, a championship pinky ring, gray hair, greased back, capped teeth. He smelled like menthol and pomade, wore a dark suit like the movie gangsters, told us about his professional playing days. We yawned, bursting in anticipation of when we could ask for one story about Mike. Mom made cheese roll-ups. White bread and butter, American cheese rolled, toasted, held together by toothpicks, our favorite appetizer. She served herself the usual 5 o'clock martini at 4, hit 3 by 7. It was warm outside. Sweat built on the coach's brow, double teamed with questions he batted at like tip passes. He looked at his Rolex. Sensing desperation, Eric and I put the press on. Excuse me, sir, yeah, do you think maybe you could get us a Michael Jordan autograph? Please? Mom broke her gait toward the sliding door, back stiffened, braced for the answer. He paused, gazed at my mom entering her rented townhome, and like a slow motion replay, he turned back toward us, said, "Let me see what I can get my hands on." All right. So that first book is a lot about my childhood, about growing up in the suburbs, about moving to Chicago, about getting involved in like the hip-hop spoken word community in Chicago. And so the second book, which is called Everyday People, is very much this manifesto really on loving Chicago, but also not liking Chicago. And I think that's probably indicative of wherever you are. You know, you feel that way about, you know, certainly your home probably. You know, you love it, and also it's tough to be from there in some ways. But this is a poem that I like because I love language, and I love the musicality of language. Language is also an instrument. And so this for me is you know, it's in that hip-hop poetic tradition, but it's, well, you'll see. It's called Messing Around. Will we ever settle down, forever sketching clouds now? We crowd the towns around now and whisper to the clouds how will we ever settle we? Wishing upon a cloud a day, a dreams all day, want to play, no career, my fear, or 401k. K is how you spell my name, get my 1040 right. Death and thumbtacks hold heroes on my office wall, my office, y'all, no office at all. A closet in the back, apartment I rent each month, write a check, first of the month check, healthcare money spent, out of pocket, every month a sport I report, check, copy, got it, will we stop sketching clouds, hold hope upside down, rush like Division Street crowds, inertia moving, never settle, apartments, books and cardboard boxes, CDs and case logics, hip-hop to heavy metal, settle, sediment, gentlemen, settle in, quiet like dust in the bottom of the river. She wrote a number in my hand with mud, now I call her River. 10 numbers in my hand, 10 numbers right behind her. I'ma find her among the crowds of towns I travel around, public speaking loud. Where you at? Where you from? Hold your hope inside my eyes now. I wanna see you be seen besides the scene. I mean, will we live among the forests of steel and rusted beams? Midwest, be the best, flat fields of soybeans. Miles, your boy dreams. Sketch Chicago, lovely, the city. Beautiful, brutal, ugly. Beautiful, brutal, youthful when she diss a hipster smugly. Ugly yuppies, trust fund lucky. Daily must be holding a bottle of bleach upside down, turning the blues to white. She beautiful, brutal, ugly. Sketch Shy City, lovely. Yo, when will she love me? I holler when she loves me, holler when she holds me, holler cause she holy, she Shy City holy, she beautiful, brutal, lovely. Right. Thanks. Cool. All right. So, so that was the second book. Third book is called Elvis Lives, Race Music Poems. It is a fake contemporary biography of a fictitious white rapper based off the real lives of real white rappers. So I looked heavily at the real lives of Eminem and Macklemore and Vanilla Ice and Elvis Presley and myself and other white boys who think they're down. And I tried to reimagine this contemporary biography. It's an archetype that swings through history. You know, this white boy who is consumed with the culture not his own, who tries to kind of submerge in a culture not his own and then wrestle with his own identity. And so a lot of the book is, you know, based off of the lives of other folks. Unfortunately, there's also a ton in the book that is directly from my own life. So I'm going to share with y'all it's a true story. I don't know, where did you go to junior high? Maple, okay, good. So you were not there for this. Good, yeah, thankfully. Yeah. But this was about the first time that I wanted to rap. And this is a true story. At least in my imagination it happened this way. Sometimes the truth isn't what happened, it's just how you remember it. But this is I'm going to need your help on this too, y'all. You'll see where your part is. But this is a poem called Call and Tepid Response. Thank you. In my mother's kitchen, over a bowl of Frosted Flakes, it clicked. Something I'd been contemplating for weeks. I called Mark Cohn immediately, told him he should run for class president. I would be his campaign manager and introduce him to the 8th grade student body by kicking a rhyme. It was 1988. Rap had yet to hit the shopping mall. Mark was a bit skeptical, but every night of the campaign week I worked on writing and, more importantly, how my mouth looked in the mirror when words came out. By Thursday night, I was a minute and 15 seconds of mostly Grandmaster Melly Mel mimic at the end of Beat Street, his eponymous elegy for Ramon, rough. But in the early hours of that Friday morning, when the birds kicked a symphony near my window in the subdivision of Pheasant Creek, I thought the end needed something more. Something to move the crowd of 13 and 14-year-old North Shore, majority Jewish assimilated upper income kids who liked Wham and Def Leppard. So I dug into my growing crates of memorized bits and I hid when the B-side of the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff's He's the DJ on the Rapper tape popped into my head like a toaster pastry. That morning was showtime in the all-purpose room, a cafeteria with the stage. Hundreds of chairs faced the podium. Giggles and whispers whipped the air like crickets until Mr. Feely, the industrial arts teacher and 8th grade class advisor, unfortunately named considering the rumors about his wood shop after school, introduced the candidates. Mark was in the middle, like Moni Love. But before he came to the stage, I entered stage left, commanded the crowd, clapped their hands to a beat, which didn't exist. But all the MCs started that way, and it's true. White people are like a bootleg Rolex. We can't keep time. But I rode that jagged rhythm, 4/5 my way through the written verse, monosyllabic heroic couplets regaling the virtues of Mark Cohn. The funny kid I've known since grade 3. We wrestled in my house. He rolled my dog's pee. But we got older, got tough, got bolder. Got to be junior high residents. Make some noise for your next class president. Oh, thank you. Admittedly, the crowd kept quiet. But you don't stop the body rock. And I didn't have enough good sense to exit. I wanted to make Wood Oaks Junior High bounce to this. Take all our mid-puberty, Bon Jovi-loving energy and make the roof fire. At least spark a bit. A modest barbecue would have been nice. I wanted the cafeteria transformed into a church, at least what I thought a church might feel like, a church in Wheaton maybe, but still not bad for a room full of Jews. Undeterred, I went into my appropriated call and response. Ladies, all the ladies in the house say Mark. Mark. Say Mark. Mark. Homeboys, make some noise. Let me hear you say Cone. Say Mark Cohn. Mark Cohn. Say Mark Cohn rocks the spot. Everybody. Mark Cohn rocks the spot. A little louder. Mark Cohn rocks the spot. One more time. Mark Cohn rocks the spot. Now, in reality, a few friends raised their voices above a whisper. But in my head, I was baptized ahead, ready and able to move the crowd. Thank you. All right. All right, I got one more poem before I turn it over to y'all and we do this writing workshop together. I'm not going to read a poem from the aforementioned book that couldn't be mentioned, but a few summers ago, you guys know the rapper Chief Keef? You guys like rap music, hip hop music? So there's a Chicago rapper named Chief Keef who is young still. I mean, he's, I think he's 19, 20 years old now. A few summers ago, he's 17, teenager, and a lot of the attention that the media, both locally and nationally, was paying to Chicago was really negative. And a lot of it at that summer, a few summers ago, seemed to be focused solely on the back of the 17-year-old young man. So as opposed to addressing the historic and reasons for poverty and racism, it just seemed they were blaming this one young man. And not only does that seem not fair, but I think that art can really help to shift and change public discourse. I think that art is political, that writing and language can really do a lot to change a conversation. And so I wrote this book about Chief Keef that could have been called More Things Chief Keef Finds Displeasurable, but it was named something else. But it was interesting because it was part of a moment in Chicago's public discourse that allowed me to have a different conversation with a larger audience because of, the desire to engage in that public conversation. So I think a lot of times you hear, if you don't like the conversation, change it. I think art has that power too. So the book of poems that I had that came out in last April is called Shtick, and it's a lot about being Jewish in America. It's a lot about my family, and my family tells a lot of stories. I think part of the reason why I was so attracted to hip hop music, I think part of the reason why I do this work is because my family basically is just a bunch of like loud, repetitive storytellers, really, and I don't know if y'all have relatives that like to sit around and tell the same story again and again, but that's pretty much everybody, but that's my family. And so this book, it's about a lot of different things, but it starts there. It really starts around my aunt's dinner table on Friday nights. And this is a story they told. And so what I started to do was really just write down some of those stories and make it also kind of the oral history, codify it, write it down, put it in the book. So this is a true story, supposedly, again, true. I mean, I don't know how true it is, but at least is what they told me again and again. I don't know how many Jews are in Kalamazoo, but kosher is what Jews are supposed to eat, right? Kosher laws, right? We don't eat shellfish, pork. My father loves pork chops, so I don't know how that works. But they say, like, if you don't eat kosher, you eat treif, right? It's like not clean, what you're not supposed to eat. So this poem is called Treif. Supposedly a true story. It goes like this. In 1956, a convention of conservative rabbis meets at the Palmer House in Chicago. My cousin, Jackie Hilliard, a cantor turned Borscht Capades vaudevillian entertainer, has just sung some nigums to the thunder of applause and tears. After he leaves the wooden podium, a Palmer House emblem glued to its front, hands are washed, prayers recited, a list of mazzels from the auxiliary board president, salad plates cleared, the main course's silver top removed to reveal sliced beef. The ballroom is packed with steak knives scraping, forks screeching, ice clanking, the roaring chit-chat of rabbis and their wives. Rose is Jackie's wife, a squat and somewhat fleshy woman weighed down by gold and glee. She stops chewing, spits the baked potato into her napkin, subtle as car backfire. The table is horrified. She stands on her chair wrapped in rented linens and announces, her lungs blowing with the force of a shofar blast, "There is bacon in the baked potato!" For a moment, her sermon shakes the Palmer House chandeliers like rain. Then a flood of rabbis and their wives pour from the ballroom as if fleeing Pharaoh, crazed to find the nearest bathroom to stick fingers down their throats and throw up all that isn't kosher. All right, very good. Cool.